Well, hi there. Hey, I, if you got little ones in the room, I'm gonna give you about a minute to get them out of the room because, these books are really disturbing, and I really hope that none of you have read any Dr. Seuss books to your kids. Yeah, because they're really they're really pretty bad. Yeah. Well, look at this right here. This is on like on the second page in. They got that big dog with a little dog pulling him. Now, this dog is kind of like white privilege, isn't it? Yeah, he's being pulled by that poor little dog, and I'm kind of offended by that, since I'm white and that dog is white too. Yeah, it's got me kind of worked up a little bit. Now, here's another thing here. On this page, you got this maze. Now, let me just refresh your memory a little. In this book here, Virus 19 for Dummies. Yeah, I I told you this summer that I found in here that the virus is afraid of heights. And I also found out from when they opened up the restaurants that if you're standing and you have your mask on, you got to have your mask on because then the virus is floating around, and he won't like to go real too far down, and he don't like to go far up either. So you got to have your mask on when you're walking around, but when you sit down to eat, that's where he'll stay. Yeah, and now that might be a little bit of almost like misinformation too, because in 2019 we had a lot of misinformation. I felt like we were in a maze. Like this book was written before its time, actually. Like this dog here, he's saying, didn't they say to wear a mask? No, no, they said not to now. Oh, okay. This one says, well, now they say to wear two. Well, I just heard maybe three masks. This dog heard that too, and she says, well, I think we're supposed to stay 8 feet apart now. Yeah, so, and they're not social distancing, so right away, and they're going to get kicked out of that maze. There's three kinds of people, people that make things happen, people that watch things happen, and then people that didn't know anything was happening. Yeah, there's always a few of them out there for sure. Now, these these dogs here, they're driving around in these electric, or not electric. They wish they were electric, and that's what they want us to drive. Because then we're not going to leave a carbon footprint. But, if you really study the so-called renewable energy, what it takes to make some of these windmills and all this stuff, it takes a lot more energy to make the stuff, to keep it up, to make it work. Well, Texas found that out. Well, and these guys here, if they had electric cars, we could have eliminated page 14 and 15. And we could have saved paper. Now here's the thing. The green dog. The green dog is up, and the yellow dog is down. Now all of us aren't created equal. Now I'm not sure if what that means in this book, but let's just say what the government wants to do, some people in the government now, is they want to make what the green dog earns, they want to give some of that to the yellow dog to bring him up. They call that socialism and communism. Like Winston Churchill said, socialism is the philosophy of failure, the creed of ignorance, the gospel of envy. Its inherent virtue is the equal sharing of misery. That pretty much explains it. So if you think that's a good way, maybe check it out. Here we got some dogs. Them dogs, no life jackets. Now, and I gotta believe kids are gonna read this and they're gonna see that. Here's these showing off, jumping off the diving board. Yeah, the early signs of sexual harassment, like Pepe Le Pew, you know, that cartoon. We got to get rid of that too. You know, the cancel culture. And then look at these guys on this Ferris wheel. They're not buckled in. They're playing with yo-yos. They're showing kids how to fall off a Ferris wheel. I mean, I'm... Oh, yeah, go sit on the roof of a house and get heat stroke in the sun. And these guys, they're working like they're out in a prison or something, in a work camp. Yeah, just all kinds of stuff. So that's kind of how that works. Tomorrow I'm going to go over this book because this one's got me so worked up right now that I can't even talk to you about it. So now a lot of people these days get offended at everything and have a knee-jerk reaction, and you know, the cancel culture is something they don't like, or you know, just want to get rid of all the history. Well, there's stuff in here that you can say that don't offend those people, and I'm going to show you. Let's look at it, because this ain't really nothing in there. Well, I guess what you can do is if somebody offends you, or somebody says something you don't like, or something's on Facebook you don't like, don't look at it. And when I was younger, and well, even there's radio shows today, some people say, I don't like that. I don't like what he said. Well, I'm gonna help people out here now, because I don't know if you know this, but now in when I was younger, I had to take my thumb and my pointer finger, and there was a knob on the radio, and I would grab the knob and slowly turn it, and the dial would move like this. And I could change the radio station. Imagine that. Now there's these things called buttons, and it says channels up and channels down. And you can push the little button in and watch the numbers go like that, and the station actually changes like that. It's almost like magic. And then you don't have to be offended anymore. And I mean, because sometimes maybe what you say offends somebody too. So talk about it. Or just because something offends you or you don't like it doesn't mean that person has freedom of speech. They can speak. Well, unless somebody turns the station. And that's what you should do if it offends you that much. Or these days, push the little button in. And sometimes there's more buttons there, and it might be confusing, and you might have to listen to maybe a sentence more. So, but just remember, you know, you might not like what that guy says, but he might not like what you say either. So, but you have a right to speak just like anybody else. That's what they say. You know, that's what freedom of speech is. Well, you guys have a good day, and remember, we're going to go. Well, I got other ones here too. Are You My Mother? The Cat in the Hat. Now, it's very disturbing, and I also found another fact in the Virus 19 book, because this is a big book, and there is a section in there about the mutated viruses, and I'm not going to tell you now, so you're going to have to listen the next time I come on. So, have a good night.